Hey, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of the Rock Experience with Mike Brunn. On this episode, Vincent LaRusso and I are going to discuss the latest news that some of John Bon Jovi's newest CDs were maybe not signed by him, but instead signed by Autopen. We cover this topic, lots to talk about. We look forward to your thoughts and your opinion. So let's jump in and let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of the Rock Experience with Mike Brunn. Today, I have with me my buddy, my comrade. He's already doing a little boogie in his chair over there for everybody. How you doing, Bloody?
No Kirkland beverage today.
No curl. That's because I'm getting you too early in the morning.
I do have a vintage mug that I'm getting mugged.
It looks a little Halloween theme-ish.
Well, you know, orangi is my favorite color.
Yes, I do know orangi is your favorite color.
Got this at an antique store. So, yes, I'm drinking out of an antique. Well, why does anybody even care about this? You know, why am I even mentioning?
I honestly don't think that they do, but that's okay. I know it makes you happy.
It does.
Right? So
if it makes me happy,
it can't be that
bad, right?
It definitely can't be that bad.
Sung by a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer.
What was that?
That's right. I said sung by a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, but let's not get into that.
That is not the point of today's discussion, but the point is to discuss another Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, right?
Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Sheryl Crow. Yeah, I see how it all matches. Okay, let's start.
Oh, man. You're in rare form this morning already.
What do we have to even talk? I have no idea what we're talking about today.
Well, I texted you yesterday. I said, let's get on and do like a nice short little episode on Bon Jovi, who just released a new CD, Forever, or album, whatever you want to say, streaming, whatever it is. A new release came out, right? And he's done, as a lot of artists are doing these days, there's, I guess, two different routes people go down. Some people put out 97 different versions on vinyl, different colors, right? And we certainly know some artists that are guilty of that. And then other artists lately have been doing signed copies of their album or their CD when it first releases, which you can get on their website. And it's a way to try to get people to buy physical product. I happen to think it's a good idea. It's a nice way for fans to get something from the band that's signed and supposed to be legitimate. And it's a nice way for the artists to sell some physical product. Well, Bon Jovi, about a month ago, posted photos online, signing CD covers and all of that, and was offering to sell the new CD signed by John on his website. And then
was he wearing that leather coat?
He might have been wearing the leather coat, yes. Oh, man, yes.
I like how he's become Paul Stanley. You know, Paul always once he gets a shirt, he doesn't, or a hat, It's like his signature thing now. I noticed he has them all different colors: light tan, dark tan, brown.
Yes. Yes. You could see in this picture, there's got to be a few hundred CD covers, on a table, and they show him signed in one of them, obviously. And you were able to purchase them directly on, bonjovi.com to get a signed copy of the new CD. And then they arrived this week, and I had ordered a couple, because I wanted to give them away on my website.
Give it away now.
But you get to give it to your mama.
That's good, actually. Caught me by surprise.
Thank you. So, I purchased a few. I wanted to give them away for free on my site. I open it up, and the first thing I notice, I'm like, Jesus, John, you signed in black ink across the darkest spot of the CD. That's not the smartest spot to sign. But I'm like, hey, whatever. This is not an expensive product. We'll talk about that in a moment. But it's just a weird spot for John to sign. I posted on my Facebook page, and within a half hour, 45 minutes, somebody comments, "Hey, Mike, just so you know, that's not a real signature on that." And my first thought is, yes, it is. Yeah, I purchased it directly from the band, directly from the official site. I saw the pictures of John signing the CDs, and he says, "Oh, well, it's an Autopen." Interesting comment. But for those who don't know what an Autopen is, it's a machine that basically will sign it on behalf of the artist. So I started doing a little bit of research, and during that time, somebody else comments, "Yes, that's definitely an Autopen. The signatures in the dark spot were not really signed by John. The signatures in the light spot were actually signed by John." So now I'm like, all right, this is interesting. Two different people have commented. I do a lot of research for an hour or two, and lo and behold, you can start to see online people posting the ones that are signed in the dark spot that people are claiming by Autopen, and it's the exact same signature. I mean, if you overlay them on top of each other, they fit perfectly. So right away, you're like, all right, well, clearly this is not legit. So I'm assuming you haven't heard about any of this at all yet, right?
No.
Other than the text I sent you yesterday that I said, hey, it looks like John's selling fake autographs on his website.
Mhm.
As I've come to learn, he's not the first artist that did this using an auto pen, which I'm not surprised. I've heard of this before. Ozzy did it a couple of years ago when he released his Ordinary Man CD, and he had signed copies. It came out that was auto pen. I believe one of Gene's books is actually signed by auto pen, also not by Gene. But I'm going to pause there for a moment and let you kind of talk up. What are your thoughts when you see an artist selling a product on their website with a photograph of them selling, only for a fan to get it and find out it's an auto pen signature?
There's only one word that comes to mind: horseshit. This
Yeah.
is total horseshit. This should not be allowed. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Unless you're, I mean, why would you even want something signed with an auto pen?
Right.
Don't even get it signed. It's the whole part about an autograph. It's like comes from the physical hand of somebody, and each one could be slightly different from the next. There's no two that are alike.
Yep.
You know, I mean, the only, again, if you want this, is to say, for looks that it has an auto pen autograph, and we're telling you up front, but to charge more, or I don't even know what he's charging for this, or anybody if they charge extra.
Yep.
Now, it's making me think like, I don't know. I think it was Stanley's second book. Remember
Mhm.
years ago, we were supposed to go to a bookstore and go pick up the book, and I think COVID hit or something,
Yep.
right? And we weren't able to do that. I think I wound up getting it somehow. They shipped
Yes.
it to me or
Yep.
something like that.
Yep.
But I think Stanley was supposed to be at the store. I don't remember. Like
Right.
now I'm starting to think, was that a real autograph? Or was that this bullshit auto pen?
Right. Right. And that's to me the problem with this. So let me make a few comments on what you said. To the band's credit, the CD was $15 only. Right. So it's the price of the autograph was quote unquote free. Right.
Hmm.
So you weren't paying a premium for the signed item. I'm sure they're doing that in an effort to try to get as many sales as they could for week one, to try to chart as high as possible. Also, to credit, like in this case, I reached out to the record company where I purchased it from, and they're gladly taking the refund. All right, so I can ship it back to them. They're going to take it back. However, exactly what you just said. To me, this starts to make you question any autographs that you're getting, that you're supposed to be getting directly from a band, and saying, hey, well, is my Stanley signature now correct? What about this other album that I purchased directly from a band's, website? Is that signature also an auto pen? I did some research on this, and the only things I could find was that the Ozzy CD, Ordinary Man, was not an ordinary signature. It was a auto pen. And the Bon Jovi one, I think there's a couple of other like classic rock artists like from the 60s that've had this problem also. Nothing that I could find from stuff that you and I would have, but it seems like this has been something that's been kind of flying under the radar for a few years now, that artists
Well, you
have.
say a few years. The Gene book came out when?
Oh, I
Which
think
Gene
that was
book?
like 6, 7 years ago. I'd have to go back and look. It was
Was that the one about like the business or something like that?
there was one that he was selling that I just remembered like the signature page was black. Some of them were auto pen. Now, what's interesting with the John stuff is that it's been proven that definitely some of
Gina,
the
silver
signatures.
and gold, silver and gold. Sorry, why am I in a
It's
Christmas mood? I don't know.
if you went from Halloween to Christmas.
Yeah.
Um, it is definitely proven that John absolutely did sign some of the CDs. Okay. So the question becomes, did the label get greedy and say, gee, we sold out of those 500 that John signed instantly. Let's throw in another 1,000 fans.
How was how was it advertised? That's what I want to ask.
So when it arrived, it was sealed. The signature
No,
was
no,
inside.
no. Before, when you
Oh,
saw it that this was made available, what did it say? Do you remember?
signed CD by John.
Signed by John.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
actually said signed by John. So it
I
didn't just say autograph CD, because there's a difference there. You know, if it says purchase an autographed Bon Jovi CD, they kind of gives themselves a little leeway there because it is autographed. However, they're not by the actual person. But if it says signed by John and they're doing this, that's completely egregious.
And I would say this, no matter what the wording is, and I'd have to go back and look, if it said just autographed and they show a picture of John sitting at a table with 500 CD covers and him signing it, it's implied that it's signed by John. So,
Yeah,
so
of course.
I can't let them get away with the word in there at all.
Yeah.
You know, I think my question would be, and from what I've seen this week, John's been silent on it. Is John aware of this, or is this a record label thing? You know, so he clearly spent time and signed whatever 500. I don't know. I'm making up the number. 500 CD copies. You know, did the record label get greedy and say, "Gee, those sold out instantly. Let's do some 1,000 more in Autopen," or did John say, "Hey, yeah, I'll sign 500, then you guys take care of the rest"?
Auto-tune, Autopen. What is going to be? Yeah. I need an auto cook. Could somebody make my breakfast?
You know, maybe we could have an auto podcast. I'll just say, hey, Vin,
Yeah.
look, we'll have little avatars of you and I, and I'll just, this is the topic. Let it go ahead and talk about it on our behalf.
Well, don't you know, what is it? Pop. What are they? Pop art? What do they call?
Pop House.
Pop House. They're currently working on an auto, an avatar of you and I. We're getting replaced. They didn't give you the memo.
No, they didn't. But if they want to contact me, I'll work out a contract with them. I could arrange an avatar myself with them. No problem. You know,
Abba and Costello are working on that.
That's right. Are you Costello and I'm Abba? Oh man. You know, to me, it's like you said before, it kind of it taints any signatures then that you're buying online. And you know, I'll admit this, you know, to me, the last 2 months or so with John and how open he's been about his voice and the problems and the fact that he won't tour. And I've listened to the new CD, and there's a couple of songs that, you know, I happen to think that the lead single Legendary is pretty good, even though to me it sounds like a Goo Goo Dolls song, but I still think it's good. There's a couple of other songs. I think it was Living Proof and Walls of Jericho, which I happen to think had good riffs on the song. I was like, you know, this CD is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's a little better than I expected, but it's not great, you know. But my point is, between all the press he's done and how humble he's been, it kind of taints all of that to me a little bit when all of a sudden you're selling product to the fans and it's not real. Yeah,
I agree.
It taints all that. You know, I saw somebody comment online and they said the label doesn't care. What the label wants is as many products sold in week one so that they can get the highest chart position possible. They could use that in their press and PR for the record. They take returns the next week. They don't care. They got that press for where it charted in week one. And I was like, that's an interesting comment. I don't know if that's true or not, but somebody did make that comment.
Sounds logical. It doesn't sound like, oh my God, that sounds far-fetched.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, to me, it was disappointing. It was disappointing for me also because, you know, our good friend Super M had done a solid for me. And when Ace Frehley did an in-store over here in New York, I guess about 3 months ago, I couldn't attend. And he's like, Mike, don't worry, I've got your back. I'll get you a signed item. And he was going for himself and he gets me a signed CD and then he won't take any money from me. I'm like, come on, Super M. And we know Super M's the cream of the crop, right? So I said to him, I said, you know what? I'm going to pay it forward and I'm going to give away on my website some free signed items as a way to kind of thank people for being on my page and a way to pay it forward. I post this and now I'm going to take it down because I don't want to be handing out fake signatures and have that out in the market. Even though I'm not the originator of it, I don't feel it's right. Even though some people like, I don't care if it's Autopen, I'll gladly still take this. It's really nice of you, Mike, to offer. I just don't feel it's the right thing to do to keep circulating what I know to be fake autographs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just a shame. And I feel bad now for people like yourself who said, well, what about that Stanley signature that I just purchased from his site a few years ago? Is that fake? It just makes you question the whole stuff. But I think you're okay with your Stanley signature. I really do.
I'm not gonna lose any sleep about it.
No, that's
Either way, I'll be honest. But I mean, it's really, I mean, even if he was at the store, who knows if they didn't have a stack of books that were auto signatures that they just had in stock and then sent out to people. Who the hell knows?
And to add to the egregiousness, I mean, it shows you just how deep they try to go with this. The Bon Jovi one, there is at least that is known 6 different versions of the Autopen signature.
Mm.
So, because I know at first when I posted mine, somebody was like, "That's Autopen." I started comparing it to the ones that people were saying, and I'm like, "Mine don't match. Mine doesn't match. Mine doesn't match." Eventually, I found one that matched, and somebody said, "No, there's 6 different versions." So they're clearly trying to be a bit deceptive with this as much as possible by having at least 6 different versions out there by Autopen.
Yeah.
I would just say this to people who are watching or listening: if yours was signed anywhere in the middle, in the darker area of the cover, there's a 99% chance that yours is an Autopen signature. If yours was signed, especially in the upper left-hand corner, where it's like a lighter gray background, and then John signed over there in black ink, if that's where your signature is, you probably got a legit one.
Mm.
That's the best way for me to summarize it for anybody who's watching or listening to this, and you want to go back and look at yours. If you're watching this and you feel you have a fake one and you want to return it, you could contact them and they'll gladly, it seems like, take them back. Again, I know people only paid $15, and maybe some people will be like, well, if that's the price of the CD, I don't care. I'll shred the signature and I still paid, standard price for a CD. That's fine. In fact, even I'd purchased a vinyl, and the vinyl was only $35 for a colored limited edition vinyl. So, I thought the vinyl would look good, signed on the cover.
Didn't come with a hose?
Huh?
Didn't come with a hose?
It didn't come with a hose. It didn't. The hose might have been the better purchase after all said and done, but because I'm returning the vinyl also. But I just wanted to share this information because I've seen a lot of comments about it online, including on my page. I wanted to apologize to anybody on my page who was excited for the giveaway. I had the best intentions, but like I said, I'm pulling it because I did not want to be circulating an autograph that I know is not legitimate. I just don't feel like that's the right thing to do. So I will be pulling my giveaway, and I'll try to make it up again in the future. My future.
Your future.
My future.
Yeah, I think you're doing the right thing here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I hope with all of this that John doesn't know that this was going on. And I'd love to see John make a comment and even try to make this right for the people. I hope this was not an agreement that John said, hey, I'll sign 500, then put 2,000 out that are not real, or whatever the numbers are. That would be a huge shame. But
it doesn't make sense for a guy who's, has whatever the hell his food, that way he gives out food for free to people, or has these, I don't know what they're called, centers. I don't know what they're called. What are they called? Food?
Yeah, no,
I don't know. We know he operates. I guess it's a not for profit. Yes. Where he feeds people, and
Yep, and so we've seen the pictures of him working there in the kitchen, cleaning dishes. He's a very giving person.
Yeah, so this doesn't make sense that with the good conscience he would allow this to happen. Yep. Who knows?
Yep. Yep. It's disappointing. So I wanted to just jump on a few moments just to talk about it, just to, I'll say, enlighten anybody who purchased, get people's opinions and thoughts on this, and just let people know if they're not happy with what they got, they can return it. It seems like so.
Listen, I've been a gambler, but I'm nobody's fool.
Okay. Oh man, very good. Very good. Anything else you want to add to this one, Bloody?
No, I think we've said it. What needs to be said.
We said what needs to be said. So for other bands out there, please don't do this. The fans are not happy to receive an auto-penned item. We'd rather just have the standard no signature on it. Like you started off saying, and this is where we end. If I'm buying a signed product, I want it to be from the hands of the artist, not from a machine that was calibrated to the artist.
Right.
So,
yeah.
All righty. I look forward to everybody's thoughts and comments on this. As always, thanks for everybody for watching. Appreciate it. On that note, we'll leave everybody with Double Ringo.
Double Ringo. These are hands that could actually make signatures.
Later, everybody.
Later.
Alrighty, there you have it. Once again, I want to apologize to everybody on my Facebook page who was joining my contest to win this free copy of the CD. I hope you understand that I just don't want to put out a fake autograph into the collecting world. Thank you so much for understanding that. I'm also really curious, if you purchased this online, did you get a copy signed by Autopen, or were you one of the lucky ones that got a real signature? Let me know. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button below. If you're listening to one of my podcasts, subscribe over there as well. Also, head on over to Facebook and follow my page, The Rock Experience with Mike Brunn, where each and every day we talk about all the rock and roll music that you love. You could also follow me on Instagram and Twitter as well. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you all next time.